Well, welcome to the Tab and Dillard podcast, y'all guys. My name is Tab and Dillard, and you are listening to a podcast which is like a radio show called the Tab and Dillard Podcast, Season 5's Episode 14. If you know anything about these podcasts, they go 15 episodes. So next week's the last week in the season. And then we done with season 5, just like that away. A lot to cover today. I mean, if you listen to this the day it come out, then you know that it's the Valentine's Day. It's Tuesday's February 14th, and that's the Valentine's. And me and Cricket is going 2 for 1. I got 2 for 1 coupon down to Burger Shed, so that's how that go. And what else is going on? I'm scratching my eye, but you only know that if you're watching the video on the YouTubes, which I am still doing. And, you know, it's been a month now where I'm kicking around the idea of not doing these, but I'm doing them. And, hey, I know already next week, I already decided for the Q&A to video it. Thing about it is, there's going to be a special guest. Like, I ain't never had a guest on my podcast. I may never do it again. I don't know. But I got one for next week. They're going to help me with the questions. Now, they ain't going to be there the whole time. They may be there half the episode of the video, but that's okay. It's more than a guest than I usually have. So that's next week. And if you do have any questions, I mean, send them in today. We about done with this because I got so many questions came in, which I appreciate y'all. Now I gotta shoot the video. You know, I got to shoot the video and make the thing. So I'm gonna need a minute to get all that together. So if there's just any pressing questions you ain't shot my way, on the text message, that's 501-322-6249. That's in the show notes today. Or the email address, tabandillard@gmail.com. That's in the show notes today. You can shoot me them questions there for the podcast. I think I got most of them. I don't think I overlooked any so far yet that come in as of the recording of this podcast episode, which is the episode 14. But a lot going on in town. I ain't lying when I say it. Where I catch up on the Tball game this week, the Tavin's Lawn Care Services. You know, I sponsor that team. Mowing, edging, grass cutting legend. That's me. I assistant coach it, you know, with Shane Grubbs, Cheryl Grubbs' husband. And little Perry Lee Grubbs, he on the team. He's a little boy. And so I got that to do, catch up on that. Early Bird Gets the Perm. They having this winter fundraiser thing. They got a new shampoo flavor. They trying to market their own shampoo. Not try to sell somebody else, but Delondra and Gracie, you know, the sisters that run it, came up with a flavor. And so there's a fundraiser, and I went to that fundraiser. Of course, Meemaw did. She don't like to help out a lot of folks, but if it come to Early Bird Get the Perm, she gonna be down there. Speaking of that, I got the sweatshirt on. I've been talking about it. I got my sweatshirt this week. I don't know if you can see it in the video there. I know you can't see it on the audio. I know about that, but it says Early Bird Gets the Perm on it, and it's kind of a charcoal gray. I also got the new Bank sweatshirt, but I don't think it's around here. I don't see it in the trailer. Maybe somebody picked it up, and Meemaw might be wearing it for all I know. I sure hope she don't make a squirrel bed out of it. I mean, it's a brand new hoodie. But anyhow, that ain't your problem. And then what we got going on after that is after the fundraiser. I mean, them the big things this week, the Tball game and the fundraiser kind of thing. And I don't know how we doing on Tball, but here's what happened this week. Russell Tucker's little boy, Jesse, he a little feller on the Tball team. He showed up with a peach in his pocket. I don't know how, of all things to shove in your front jean pocket. He came to the Tball practice in jeans and had a peach, a full-on grown ripe peach shoved down his pocket. Now, you know how you get a peach out of a little kiddo's jean pocket? Not very easy. I can tell you that much right now. So he come over there, and then there's another little fella there. There's Perry Lee, Shane Grubbs' son, heard about this peach thing. He goes, here, let me help you kind of thing. So all of a sudden, these boys are both trying to pull this peach out of the pocket, and they fall on the ground, and then it just turns into a wrestling match. Well, as soon as two boys is on the ground, it tells the whole team it's time for a dog pile. So they go out there, and you trying to, like, pull kids off each other, and, okay, we ain't doing that. We're going to start practicing now kind of thing. And you get everybody off, and all of a sudden, right there in the dirt of the infield is a peach with a taffy wrapper stuck to it. And that little feller, Jesse Tucker, he still wanted to eat that peach. So, and that's before practice even started. Well, practice supposed to have been started already, but they didn't. The Brunwell boys were in the middle of all that, and those boys can hit. They probably gonna go pro. They hitting dingers. I mean, they T-ball dingers, but they still hitting dingers. So we had a game this week, And at the game, I don't know how it went. I mean, I don't know if we good or they winning, but everybody got to bat, and you know, some folks hit it like them Brunwell boys, them cousins. They hit real good, and then the other fellers, they still, you know, get distracted by shiny objects. You know, I guess kind of like the rest of us. So it's exercise. You know, that's the best I can say about Tappan's Lawn Care Service. Exercise. So we got down there and they did their thing. But I can't tell you, I just getting so excited about spring season. I know the rules of softball, and I can tell when we winning or losing kind of thing. And we got some guys that can, you know, we've been playing together for years, so we clicking. Now, you know, and then with the Tball, I ain't expecting, you know, the best thing ever. I know they little kiddos, but I'm just telling you, the softball I'm looking forward to. Team Burger Shed. Still getting the roster together, who's going to be on our team. I will tell you right now, though, just with the exercise, and I've been going down to Thunder Punch, which is Coach Hicks' boxing gym in town, and he doing the thing now with the punch cards. You know, like them little cards, and then they hole punch it, and then you get enough hole punches, then all of a sudden you get like a free thing from them. Which with Coach Hicks, it's probably going to be like a free swim lesson down to City Pool, because he had lifeguard down there when the City Pool opens up, you know, late spring, early summer. Or maybe it's like a free kickboxing lesson down in his gym or something like that, like some free service that they do associated with Thunder Punch. But Coach Hicks been around long enough, he got the freedom to say, hey, I'm going to let you have something down to City Pool too, since he the head lifeguard there. I don't know, but you can bet it. You can bet your Thunder Punch card that I'm going to get a Thunder Punch card for the gym. And I think I might have told y'all, but I've designed a new shirt for Thunder Punch, and that's coming out soon, probably early March, maybe sooner, I don't know. But I got more information on that coming up. But I get down to the early bird gets the perm, and it's a full-on fundraiser. So like Donut Goals had donuts down there, and ideas like whatever gets sold, you know, that money go to helping DeLondra and Gracie come up with a new this new flavor they working on for shampoo flavor, hair, you know, smell thing, whatever it smell like. And Bud was down there. He did burgers and curly fries. He didn't do every burger he could make, but just like standard, I think regular burger or cheeseburger kind of thing. He didn't do the bacon double, you know, that I usually get when I'm down at the burger shed. And other people were selling crafts there. Hank Thistle had a wood burning kit, and he's burning little signs and stuff. And so, I don't know, you know, it was a circus. Everybody came out. Delma Spencer came down there, and I said, Delma, what you doing? She goes, well, my kids is hungry. And I was like, speaking of kids, I ain't seen Luke Bryan, her son Luke Bryan Spencer, he on our Tball team. I said, I ain't seen him at practice lately. And she goes, well, y'all ain't got no free food down there. It's the reason how come I don't take him down there, because she want that free food. Now, they do. I don't know if she didn't get word about this, but we do have snacks at the games, after the games. But, I mean, if she's expecting to get fed every practice and, you know, game, like full 3 square meals, you know, that ain't happening. And I said, well, Delma, this fundraiser is food you got to buy, too. None of this is free. And she goes, well, my kiddos need some nutrients. I was like, well, I reckon they do. And you're going to need $1 or $2 if you're going to buy any of them donuts full of nutrients here from Donut Goals. So she's down there, and she goes, well, I'm going to just go look around a little bit. So she's looking around. Cindy Meadow showed up, and she acting like she's blind, which this is not a new trick of hers. She act like she got a seeing eye dog, and I couldn't believe it's that same dog. I couldn't believe this dog lived that long. When she first got that, she goes, oh, this thing love hot Cheetos. I'm like, that poor thing. It ain't going to live another year with whatever she going to feed it, you know, kind of thing. But sure enough, it made it through. But it was a retired Firehouse Dog. It lost an eye to a fight with a squirrel, and she trying to pass it off as a seeing eye dog. A one-eyed dog. It's blind in one eye, and it's supposed to be the seeing eye dog for the blind lady. And then Cindy would act blind, and she wear them big old old people sunglasses, like cataract surgery sunglasses kind of thing. But she showed up today with that thing, but she wasn't acting blind. She just saying, this dog helped me. And I'm like, well, why don't you do that dog a favor and feed it something other than hot Cheetos? But so folks had to keep an eye on her, because she's looking for something free too, poking around there. It's like, there's a fundraiser. We're raising funds, give some money to this fundraiser. You know, Meemaw's down there, and she bought some crafts. Millie Ricks was doing like macrame, whatever. She did a macrame cover for a candy dish, and then she bought it herself, which I didn't know you do that at a fundraiser. First place, I didn't know that there was covers for candy dishes, and B, I didn't have any idea that you just could buy your own thing back at a fundraiser. Why'd you do that? Why don't you just stay home with it? But I guess it go to a good cause, like the money. Maybe that's what she's thinking. I don't really know. But she had that down there. So Millie Ricks is making macrame this and that. And then Gracie just decided, because it looked like they're going to be able to do it. Like they sold out everything. Meemaw got a burger from the burger shed. Didn't share one curly fry with me from that fundraiser. Ate all that. And it looked like they're gonna make money. They got enough money to do the thing anyway for the fundraiser. That's where you're raising funds to, make a prototype. And they call this thing Spring Meadow. Is gonna be the flavor, which I don't know. I mean, maybe that smell good. I guess it depends on which meadow you hanging out with. Cause if I've been in a meadow that's full of like wild donkeys, that Spring Meadow pretty much smell like a donkey toilet. I don't want to wash my hair with that smell, kind of thing. But I guess it's a Spring Meadow that ain't got wild donkeys in it or not like that. And maybe just the breeze is blowing through and you just smell them flowers or something. And it ain't downwind from a deer toilet or nothing like that, or sanitation plant. Because, I mean, it can be a beautiful Spring Meadow, but if you got that sanitation plant, 500 yards away, 2 miles away, the wind go the right direction, that Spring Meadow ain't gonna smell any better than a toilet, So I don't know, maybe I overthink that. They didn't ask my advice, but they got a shampoo flavor coming out now called, I guess what they called it, the Spring Meadow. So that's pretty good. And Hank Thistle, he sold a thing. Myron Curtis was there and bought a sign from him, wood burned into it, and it says, "If you can read this, take off your shoes." And Myron Curtis bought that sign that is burned into a board or whatever. And I said, "Myron, what's that for? You gonna put that at your house?" He goes, "No, I don't know what it's for. I just wanted to help the fundraiser." I was like, "Well, I guess it go at somebody's house if they don't want you to wear your shoes in the house. Then you basically saying, hey, if you can read this, take them shoes off, and then you go in there." I don't know, but if they put that thing up like a donut goes, then you telling all the customers, hey, take your shoes off at the door. Well, that ain't gonna happen. So I don't know where exactly that sign's gonna best do its duty, but anyways, they got rid of it. And Hank Thistle wanted to do like a wood burning demonstration. And he can see pretty good. Don't let the lazy eye fool you. Look like a marble on a ping pong paddle, but he can see pretty good on what he want to do and what he want to zero in on that board, and how he want to burn like a name into it or a word or saying or something like that away. But the thing is, he kind of start whispering when he working. When you steady focus on something, then you ain't focused on the other things you doing. So he's so focused on burning, he go from, well, first of all, you take your piece of wood and you turn on your wood burning kit, like you talking like normal projection kind of thing. But then once he start actually burning, he goes, and then you got to get down here. I can't nobody hear him. I was like, well, forget it, And then you got Cindy Meadow just poking around for something afraid. Delma Spencer's kids on the lookout. One of Delma Spencer's kids started biting on Hank Thistle's display, just kind of gnawing on it. I was thinking maybe it's teething or something. They say when babies teeth, they need something to chew on kind of thing. And Delma's had trouble taking her kid's baby teeth, throwing them in the frozen section at Richard's grocery store. She got busted for that, because that was something she's telling her kids, just throw your teeth in there. The tooth fairy lives in the ice cream section at the grocery store. Well, that was a letdown until it wasn't, and Kevin Rickert went ahead and gave her ice cream to promise to never throw her baby's teeth in there again. Told her, here's the lesson, Delma, if you do this, we'll give you free ice cream. So I don't know, but I do know she got a kid gnawing on wood. And then Cindy Meadow, she's down there trying to act like her dog needs strength from free food so that it can keep going. I'm thinking it may need a better owner, Cindy. I'm surprised, though. Maybe not. I mean, she kept that thing alive. That one-eyed retired Firehouse Dog. And DeLondra, she's so happy. Gracie Delroy's sister-in-law, that's Chet's sister-in-law. She tried to do a backways flip on a trampoline at Chet and Gracie's house. Just, I guess, celebration. But she ain't a spring chicken no more. She landed on her neck. Is the fat part of her neck, so it didn't like break her neck or nothing like that. But I think she's gonna be thinking about it a little bit. I mean, I'm excited with you, kind of thing, DeLondra. But I ain't gonna try to go do no double backflips off a trampoline. But she did that. And some of the Tball kids came down to this early bird gets a perm fundraiser, and they was showing up with, little Jesse. He was looking for it. He loved candy, and apparently he loves peaches too. But them boys love to fight. So they was all down there. Will Delroy, he came down there, and the thing about Will is he had a rough week because when we was at that game the other night and they did that dog pile, well, Hunter Farnhart, that's Rance's little nephew, he'd been doing mutton busting and the little rodeo things for the kiddos, where you hog tie things. And when everybody went down in that dog pile, over that peach, as in Jesse Tucker's jean pocket, and then all of a sudden, the Brunwell boys are on there, and then Perry Lee's in there because he's the one trying to get the peach out in the first place. Well, Hunter see all that commotion, and I don't know how or why he keep a rope in his satchel with him, but he go in there, and then he get out on the field, and he hog tie the first guy he get to, and happened to be Will Delroy, Candy's little brother, and boy, he got tied so fast. I mean, the kid got a future in the rodeo, little Hunter, but Will didn't appreciate it. You never go to a Tball game or Tball practice expecting to be hog-tied, in the middle of the infield with all your peers around you. So he got to get over that. But I tell you, Hunter, he might be in the right thing with that rodeo. He may be on to something there. But that's just typical Tball. You just don't know what to expect. I mean, if they get within 25 feet from you, there's a lot that can happen before you get to them. I'm learning that the hard way. But they was down there, some of them other kiddos and their families. Russell Tucker's down there, Jesse. They was buying probably donuts, I think, what they got. And Ronnie Keith, that's Russell's older boy. He was getting some of that Burger Shed food. And I mean, the money poured in. The money poured in where Bud didn't have nothing left to sell. Cheryl Grubbs and Shane with the donut goes, they didn't have nothing left to sell. Hank Thistle had a few other pieces to sell because not everybody wants a big old sign that says, if you can read this, take off your shoes. And I guess he wasn't taking requests so much. It's like if he thought it was a catchy saying, he's putting it on the sign, and then you had to deal with it. And then he had that one sign that he was whispering and trying to do a display on. And then we don't know what it was. It was like borderline cursive, but I don't know exactly what it said. And I think he ended up giving it to Delma Spencer. She probably badgered him enough for something free that she walked away with that. And I don't know how that's going to feed her kiddos, but she'll probably figure out a way. Maybe she'd try to go turn around and sell it. I don't know. But I will tell you this. Tball season ain't got a lot of weeks left. And truth be told, I'm all for wrapping up this season, giving these little fellers high fives. It's tiring. It's tiring to sponsor a Tball team. And then big things. The Early Bird Gets the Perm. If Delandra and Gracie, the owners of the shop, are going to have their own Early Bird Gets the Perm shampoo called Spring Meadow, they excited about that. I mean, that's all the buzz on the street in our town. How they really hitting the big time now. And of course, Rance Farnhart, he got that bait and tackle shop with the restaurant out there, which me and Cricket were thinking about going there for the Valentine's, but I switched it up and I said we're going to go to Bickham's, all you can eat catfish buffet. But Rance, he figured out how to market better, get more folks out there. They doing good when it comes to bait and tackle, but he's like, they don't know everything I do because he do haircuts out there on the patio, cut my hair out there. And so he asked me to help him come up with a name. And so I'm I'm kicking some, knocking some ideas around my head and kicking them. Once I knock them over this way and I kick them up that way and all these ideas. And I'm thinking, okay, Rance, you got fish and chips out there? Good fish and chips. You got bait and tackle. You got gifts in there, like a little gift shop. You give haircuts out there. Right now I'm thinking fish and clips. Bank, bank. I'm thinking there might be something to that. Now I got to come up with the design and figure all that out if he wants it on a shirt or maybe he just wants it on the sign out front. I don't know all the rules yet, but I got to be working on that. But I tell y'all right now, y'all guys, it's time for the Q&A next week. We done with episode, we just about done with this episode, but we really just about done with season 5 of the Tab and Dillard podcast. I sure would like to hear from you, though. If you've been enjoying this podcast, you can send me a text message, and I told you where to do that, 501-322-6249. That's in my show notes today. Or you can send me an email. Just give me feedback. Or you can leave a comment on the Apple podcast. I know people do that there, and share it with folks. That's what we got over 600 ratings where folks have given it a rating like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So if you ain't giving it a rating, you could do that too. So there's lots of things you could do, as we wrap up season 5 of the podcast. That'd be a big help if you got the time. But check the show notes today for all that's going on in here. You already know that, the Early Bird Gets the Perm sweatshirt that I'm wearing, and the Bank sweatshirt, and all my shirts and hats are over there. But then also, you can get in touch with me and see also the Tavin's Honey from Bees. That's it. I was trying to think, there's one more thing that's in them show notes today. Tavin's Honey from Bees, the link to this new merch, and then the ways to get in touch with me. So I sure would like to hear from y'all guys, because next week we're wrapping it up. And if you got a question, today is the day. Send that thing in, because we're about to get this next episode of the podcast put together, because a lot of questions came in and we got to get started or finished. Or I guess both of those had to happen. You finished, but you have already started it, or something like that. So that's that, y'all guys. Hey, thanks for joining me today on the Tab and Diller podcast, season 5, episode 14. If you are listening to it the day it came out, happy Valentine's. If you aren't, I hope you had a good Valentine's. All right, y'all guys. And hey, if you ain't been hog-tied by a mutton-busting little nephew of Rance Farnhart at the Tball fields this week, you having a pretty good week. Me, I'm Tab and Dillard. This is the Tab and Dillard podcast. Until next time, we'll see you later.